So, let's talk about something that's on a lot of our minds, our careers. Today, we're diving into a super practical framework called the Career Clarity Toolkit, designed to help you cut through all that noise and confusion.
You know that feeling when you're just not sure what the next move should be? Maybe you feel a little stuck, or maybe you're just staring at a dozen different paths and have no idea which one to take. It's a really common feeling for sure.
And look, if that sounds even remotely like you, the most important thing to know is that you are absolutely not alone. This is a totally normal part of figuring things out. And the best part? You're in exactly the right place to start getting some clarity.
So let's just call it what it is. Navigating career uncertainty is tough. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or thinking about a huge career change. There are just so many options out there, and it feels like there's this immense pressure to make the one perfect choice. It can honestly be a little overwhelming.
So what do we do with that feeling? Well, what we really need is a framework for clarity, and that's exactly what this toolkit is. Think of it as your guide, a straightforward, step-by-step process to help you map out what's next.
At the heart of it all are 5 core exercises. It's a really logical flow. We start with you exploring your interests and identifying your strengths. Then we get practical, right? We analyze your skills gaps and plan out a real career path. And finally, we make it happen with a study planner. Let's break down each one.
All right, first things first, we've got to figure out what you're bringing to the table. Before you can even think about where you're going, you need to have a really solid grip on what you actually have to offer. And that all comes down to your interests and your strengths.
So, we start with the Interest Explorer. This is all about figuring out what genuinely gets you excited about work. And I'm not just talking about hobbies. We're talking about the kinds of problems you love to solve or the tasks that give you energy. The goal here is to connect those things to actual, realistic job options.
Then we pair that with the Strengths Identifier. This part is so powerful. It's a method for looking back at everything you've done, even those small wins you might brush off, and turning them into clear, solid strengths that you can put on a resume and talk about confidently in an interview.
And this is a really important distinction to make. Interests are what you love to do. They give you energy. Strengths are what you're good at, the things you've proven you can do well. Now, the real sweet spot, the key to a career that you'll actually enjoy long-term, is finding where those two circles overlap. That's the magic we're aiming for.
Okay, so once you have a good handle on your interests and strengths, it's time to start mapping your career path. This is where we shift from self-discovery to strategy. We're going to analyze where you are now, figure out where you want to go, and then plan the actual route to get you there.
And to do that, we need to understand a really simple concept, the skills gap. All it is the space between the skills you have right now and the skills you need for that job you're aiming for. You can't close the gap until you know what it is, right?
Let's make this super clear with an example. Say your background is mostly in solo projects, but you want to become a project manager. Well, that role requires team leadership. Boom, there's your skills gap. And your action step? It's crystal clear. Take a project management course. See how it takes a big, fuzzy goal and turns it into a concrete to-do item?
This is where we bring everything together with the Career Path Planner. This tool helps you take your interests, your strengths, and that skills gap analysis and map out 1 or 2 realistic career paths that actually make sense in the current job market.
Look, a great plan is pretty useless if it just sits in a notebook. So this last step is maybe the most important. It's all about building your weekly plan and turning all these ideas into small, consistent actions that create real momentum. The whole point here is to avoid getting overwhelmed. The study planner helps you build a schedule that's actually doable. Maybe it's just 30 minutes of research on Monday, an hour of a skills course on Wednesday, a quick resume update on Friday. These are small, achievable steps that over time add up to huge progress.
And that's pretty much the whole framework. It's just 5 powerful exercises that are all connected. They're designed to walk you from that feeling of being totally lost to having a clear, concrete map for your very next move.
So, your future career is out there. It's just waiting for you to bring it into focus. The only real question left is, what's your first step going to be?